began. So welcome to today's session. We will pick from where we left last time, where we were we learned about text function and aggregation functions, or which we call statistical functions, right? So today we will move on to what we call lookup functions. There are several lookup functions, and the work of lookup function is to extract data from a particular range or table, etc. So lookup functions help us to be able to get data from wherever it is situated, in tables or in ranges. So I want you to just above the status bar, there are ellipses there, or 3 dots next to what if analysis. Are you seeing the sheet name called what if analysis? Yeah, I want you to click on this.
Okay, I can see it.
There, are you seeing what I have pointed at here?
Yeah, I've seen. I click on it.
Yes, left click. Yes, right click, then click on VLOOKUP. Then click OK. All right, awesome. So we have our data here. It's from A3 to D21. And the thing we want to do is we want to make sure that you see this side. Let me use a red one so that you can see. You see here, we want to get the company name. You also want to get the contact name. It is very easy for us to just view. For the ID 3433, you can just view that since 3433, since it's here, the company name is Franchi SPA, and the contact name is Maolo Akoti. But it is not an easy task when you have 100 records or 1,000 records. That is when we come and use what we call the VLOOKUP. V is just to mean vertical lookup, and it helps us to be able to extract data. So what the VLOOKUP will do, we look at the leftmost column. The leftmost column in our case is this one, customer ID. Then once it has looked at the customer ID, from that column, using the row where the customer ID is, the function will look at the different rows that are involved, the different rows the different cells on that column in the row. Okay, that is if you're looking at the customer ID 343, the ID is 343, then the company name, then the contact name, then the contact title. So the VLOOKUP has 3 parameters. The first one is the lookup. Just let's go to company name. Here, G. This is G10. Company name here. This cell that has company name. Then type is equals to. Okay, then VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. Yes. Just before you put in the parentheses, delete that parenthesis or the bracket. Yes, as I said last time, Excel is user-friendly, so you just read. You just read and you're good to go. Looks for the value in the leftmost column of a table and then returns a value in the same row from a column you specify. Okay? By default, the table must be ordered in ascending order. Ascending order is 0 to 10, A to Z, or A to Z. Okay? So what needs to be on your mind is when you're using the lookup function, you must make sure that your lookup value or what you have that you will be using to get what you need, that column is arranged in ascending order. In ascending order. The next thing you do is the lookup for our case here. If the lookup function is 3433, based on the column that you specify. Now, column A by default is column 1, or from the lookup value, that column is column 1. The subsequent columns are column 2, 3, 4. So, company name will be column 2, column 3, column 4. If your lookup value, let me delete this. If your lookup value is in column B, then column C and column D will be 2 and 3. If your lookup value is column C, that is what you're looking for, as in what you have is in column C, then column D will be index number 2. So based on where your lookup value is, that will determine the index number of the subsequent columns. All right? So what you need to know is for the lookup value, it is recommended. The lookup value, as you make your tables, as you do data, the lookup value should be a value that is unique, a value that is not easily replicable or duplicated. That is why most of the time you find that it is normally an ID or something that has an ID that is very unique. Like for this scenario, these are numbers. Sometimes it may be alphanumeric, that is letters and numbers, similar to what we have on, is it what we have on KRA? KRA has, it has numbers and it has letters. Okay, so that is the lookup value. Remember, at the end of the day, what the lookup functions help us to do, they help us to extract data. Okay. All right. So open bracket. Open bracket. Then our lookup value, we've so that it can be easy, something dynamic, we've put in our lookup value on G. This is G what? G something. On G9, not on G9, on G8. So click on lookup value is G8.
G8.
Yes, G8, or just above you. This one, this cell that is above you, yes. That is it, comma, comma. The table array. The table array is where your table resides. Okay. or the content that you're looking for, where it resides. So we have this data. You're seeing an arrow pointing from A3 to D21. So that is the table array where your data ideally resides, or where what you're interested in having resides. Remember, what we are looking for here is we have an ID on G8 and we need to get the company name. The company name here. We need to get the company name. So highlight from A3 to A3 to D22. A3 to D22. Just bring your click OK. D22. D21, sorry. D21. Okay, comma. Then we have what we call column index number. Okay, we said from the lookup value, our lookup value is 3433 is this one, this whole row. This is a lookup row, column. Now from that, it being column index 1, what will be the column index number for company name, which we are looking for? Is it 2, 3, or 4? You can type in the chat. Is it 2, 3, or 4? Then for Eunice, you can decide.
The company name.
Yes. Yes. Is it column 2, 3, or 4?
Column.
You can type. Just type. Just type. Type there. You have the privilege. Have you typed in 2, 3, or 4?
After 2.
No, on the formula. You just
Yeah.
yes.
2.
2. Then comma.
Yeah.
Then we have, if you see something most of the time in Excel, when you see those block brackets, they mean it is optional. It is optional. You can either have it or not. Now, for us to receive an exact value, you type in false, or you type in false. If you want an approximate match, you type in true. So type in there false, false, then close bracket. Yes, that is it. So is it true? Yes. So we've been able to extract the company name using the company ID. In a layman language is you have the name BK on your contact, okay? And you have so many.
0 instead of false.
You have many people. Yes. So Aisha, welcome. So you have many people in your contact, and you need to know. You need to get my contact from your contact list. So the lookup value, you will type on your search BK. And the table array is the whole contact list. If you have 100 people or 10 people, that is the table array. Okay? Then after that, the column index number is what you decide to use. Then you choose either the lookup, the range lookup is either false or true. Okay? False or true. So I want us to look for contact name. Contact name. Yes. Yeah, so that is 0 is for false and 1 is for true. Okay, so that is okay, Susan. As you can replace 0 with false and 1 for true. Let's go to contact name. Typing is equals to
Hello?
on G8.
Sorry?
On G8.
Sorry?
VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. Is there, press the tab key or double click. Then the lookup value is the value which you want to return its corresponding value. The value which you want to return its corresponding value. In Google Sheets, it's called the search key. I refer to it as what you have. Okay, what you have, what you know. Okay, so that is what we have is 3433, which is on G8. You can just click on G8 or where we have the ID. Yes, that is it. Then comma. The table array that is from A3 to D21. To D21. Instead of doing that, so that for best practice, just do this. Just do this. Delete that A3. Yes, put your cursor on A3 and drag it up to D20, A3, that is column A, A3. This is, yes, A3. Yes, where your data or your table is beginning. From A3 up to this place, where your data is ending. That is, yes, that way. Don't worry.
So there.
Usiogope, just drag it up to D21.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Then you're no longer in the formula, if you have noticed. So click escape, type in the formula again. VLOOKUP. Lookup value is on 3433, comma. Yes, then comma. So for contact name, is it 3, 4, or 2 for the column index number? 3, awesome. Then comma. Then you either, for false, you can either use 0. For true, you can use 1. So since we want an exact match, you either type in false or you type in 0. Then close the bracket. Yes. So that is it. That is it. All right. All right. Again, I want you to take notice that the table array is up to where whatever you're looking is found. Let's go to click on G10 where you are some minutes ago. A minute ago.
G.
G10. That's G8. Okay, you remember me talking about it's called what? The name box. This one. It always tells you where you are. Okay, that is G9.
Okay, my
Then where you have north wind, delete it. Delete north wind. And instead of A3 to D21, type in A3 and highlight from A3 to C21. C21 here, where Philip Kramer is. What's happening? Delete, delete Northwind, then A3 to D21 to C21. Just click and drag. Just drag. Very easy. Drag.
Quran di percentage. Hey,
What's happening? Just drag. Yes. Move down. Yes, that's good. Okay, so I said your table array is up. You can, it's either the whole set or up to what, up to where you have what you want. So if you notice, we are looking for contact name, and for contact name, we do not need this contact title. We do not need the contact title. Okay? So even by the virtue of that, we will still get the answer. Press enter. Thank you. All right, that is well. So just to do a recap, your leftmost column should be unique and should be arranged, best practice should be arranged in ascending order from 0 to 1, from A to Z or A to Z. Okay, then once that is done, you have, this is the lookup column where the lookup column has the lookup value. Then from that lookup column, by default, it is column index 1. The subsequent ones are follow the numbering. Then you decide on the, what else? The table array. Then once that is done, you choose the you choose either false match or exact match. Now I want you to go to G8. This is G8. G8. Click on it. If you notice, next to G8, we have this thing, a drop down. Click on it. So the drop down has several values. In fact, it has all that we have here. All that is available here, we have it. They are there. If you click on 4456, the data is dynamic. Okay, choose another one. 54, 55, 54, 45. Here it is, 54, 45. So how come we do that? That only happens when we have what we call data validation. Data validation. Data validation is a unique feature in Excel which helps us to put in rules or criteria on how we want our cells to be, for how we want our cells how we want to input data in our cells. So how do we do that? How do we do that? How do we do that? So for us to do that, I want you to do what? There are several ways of doing the same. Go to the data tab, go to data tab, go to the data tab. Data tab is tab. If the zoom icon is disturbing you, find a place, drag it down, just drag it down. Just next to where your mic is, find a place. In fact, you can see who can see your recording. Left click and drag it down and move it to another place so that you're good to go. Now, if that is done, click on the data tab. Okay, so let's say you want to input data on, yes, that's okay. Click on, click on F4, this one, F4. Click on F4. 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 Okay. Let's say we want to input all the data, all these names where someone can pick from. So for data validation, it helps us in what we call, it helps us in consistency, data integrity, and also avoid so many errors. So if you know you have a shared file and there's a particular format that you want your data to, every entry in the data to be in a particular way, you use data validation. So we want to input all names of someone can choose from someone can choose the contact title from F4 to F5. Highlight F4 to F5. F4 to F5. F4 to F5. You are now on F4. Highlight it up to F5. F5. Yes, we can use that as a sample. Then on the data tab, under data tools, come to this place called data validation. Click on data validation. Yes, click on it. So you have the data validation dialog box where we have also input message and error alert. So for allow, click on the any value, that drop down. You'll have several options. Now, if you only are interested in having whole numbers, you're not interested in anything else, you choose that. Decimal, you choose list, date, time, text, and if those do not suffice, you have the option of custom. So for our case, I want you to click on list. Since we want the list, then on list, you can type here. You can type within this space. Let's say, no, still list. Let's say it's worthy and unworthy. Just type in there, worthy, type worthy, WORTHY,
Where we have source.
or good on the source. Just type good or bad. Just type good. Good,
Then
comma. After good, put in comma. Bad, comma. Excellent. Okay. There's a C there somewhere, but that's okay. Let's just continue. Okay, click OK. Yes. So on F4, you have the three options. Click on F4, that drop down. Yes, choose good. Then the other one, click on F5. F5, yes. Good. Bad. Choose bad. All right. That is okay. So if you want to remove that, highlight F4 and F5 to remove those rules. Then click on data validation. Sorry about that. Then clear validation circles. Symbol. Okay.
why is it not clearing?
Okay. I click on data validation. And once you do that, click on data validation. Click on data validation. Then clear all. You have that option of clearing all. But do this. Instead of clearing all, delete that good, bad, or excellent so that I show you something else. So if you have a, yes, click OK. Then click on that arrow that is pointing up. No. This one. Yes. Click on it. So you have your list somewhere. You have your list somewhere. Have go to D5. I know D5. Yes, D5. 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 Drag it up to on, up to associate. D5. D5. From D5 to D9. D5 to D9.
Should I put a comma?
No. Just drag it down. Just drag it down.
To B9.
Drag down, yes. That way. Then come back to this place where the arrow is. Then click on it. Then go to input message. Then type there information. Information.
Where we have
Title. Under title, come and type in notice. Just type in notice.
I just write notice.
Yes, notice. Then input message. Please enter the contact title. The appropriate contact title. Wow, you are a fast typer. Then error alert. Go to error alert there on top.
This one.
Yes. Then you have either stop, click on style, choose, click on that drop down, click on information. You can choose anything from there.
Information.
Yes, you can choose anything. So choose information, warning, or stop. Then title. Type in type in what? Type in UKO
UK.
space WRONG.
WRNG.
WRONG. O.
WRONG.
Okay. All right. So in error message, you can type in let's just type in what can you type in? Type in just anything to tell someone they are wrong, even if it's in your mother language, just 2 words.
2 words.
So that we can make the best out of our time. Wrong text. Yes, that's okay. Then click OK. All right. So notice, please enter the appropriate contact title. Then click on that drop down. So you have the choice of the things that we selected. You can choose marketing manager. Yes, just click on it. Then on F, instead of choosing, type in sales, type in director. Enter. Uko wrong text. Okay. Yes. So that is what happened. Ideally, that is what happened on G8. So I know now you're able to know how to input what we have on G8. So go to G8. G8, where we have the ID. Okay, so that drop down came from the list that is here. So data validation is good when you have a set of rules that you want them to be adhered to when people are entering data on particular cells within the workbook. Okay, now let's go back. Let's do one last one. VLOOKUP. Go to F. F what? F what? F12 here. Just under contact name, type in contact title.
Immediately after contact name or receipt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, immediately after contact name.
I type what?
Contact title. Okay. Yes. So contact title. Contact title. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Add another what? Add another sheet. Come here, add another sheet. Go to the name, VLOOKUP, this VLOOKUP or the sheet name. Click on it, right click on it, then you have the option of move or copy, etc. The sheet name. Yes. So click on move or copy, insert. Yes. Thank you. Click OK. Have you clicked OK?
We want to move this.
Have you clicked on this OK? This one OK. This is what is available there. Yes. So we want type in contact title. Sorry, ID.
From A1.
Yes, type in ID.
ID.
Then on B, type in contact title. Okay. All right. So let's assume on scroll. So on A2, A2 to A, highlight A2 to A20, A2 to A20. Then data validation. I want you to input all the IDs. So click on data validation. Yes. Then you have the list there.
Where?
Have you clicked on data validation?
Data validation.
It's taking time, yeah? Yes, data validation. And choose list. I want us to pick all the IDs that are on the VLOOKUP sheet. It's giving us problems. It's not popping up.
Settings, input message. Error alert. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay, we are not seeing what you're seeing. That's the problem. Okay, so choose list. Then once you've chosen list, go to VLOOKUP, go to the other sheet, then choose the first column.
Okay, after highlighting A2 to A20, what do I do?
We want to pick what is on the VLOOKUP sheet.
Okay, so I go to that sheet.
Yes. Okay. You had to validate, but okay. It's okay. Go back to sheet 2. Since we will not be able to do that, I'll just pick one date there. So on A2 type in is on A2 type in 5543. I think that is one of the IDs that I've seen.
55?
43. 43. Yes, then contact title on B2 type in VLOOKUP. So we want to get the contact title of the person who has that ID. So is equals to VLOOKUP. Then what we have is the lookup value is 5543, which is also available on the table. So click on where you have the 5543. Okay, comma. And then the table array. The table array is on the other sheet. So click on the sheet called VLOOKUP. then highlight from A3 to D21. Yes, you can just go directly or diagonally. Then comma. Then contact title. Which column index will it be? 3, 4, or 5?
We are looking for
The contact title.
two.
It will be? Yes, then comma. Then 0 or false. Then close the bracket. And enter. Yes. So the VLOOKUP does not only need to work on the same sheet. As long as you're on the same workbook, it will work. If you go to the VLOOKUP sheet, look for ID 5443. 5443. Yes, the contact title is marketing manager. Then another thing is, go back to sheet 2. So instead of having it's always good practice to use a cell rather than it's called what? Rather than the content of the cell. But if you just want to see how it happens, click on the formula on B2. Then you can type in 5543. Instead of A2, just type in 5543 on the formula. Instead of A2, delete A2.
I type 5543.
Yes.
Then enter.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, boy. So that is it in terms of the vertical lookup. Okay. So let's move to the next thing. Go to the HLOOKUP very fast. So on E10, this is E10, we have the ID there. We have the ID, E10. Yes. We want to get the contact name and the contact company name and the contact name. So what you're going to do, just give me a minute. So now, instead of having the column, now the HLOOKUP is the horizontal lookup. This is how it happens. This is how it happens. You're seeing the lines. Those lines or those arrows. Now for VLOOKUP, we are looking down on the column. Now for this one, we are looking at the rows, where based on what you're looking for, you first find out the row, then on the same row, that column that you've indicated, you'll get the content of that column. Okay, so that is the HLOOKUP. The only difference is that the row headers, the column headers have now become the row headers. Okay, so instead of us having B2, B4, B5, B6, and B7, in the VLOOKUP, the columns would be on B4, C4, D4, and E4. So that's the only difference. One is column-wise, the other one is row-wise. So how do we do it? Type in is equals to, on where you are, is equals to HLOOKUP, horizontal lookup, HLOOKUP, yes. The lookup value is just above you, 55, 45.
I click on it.
Yes, you click on it. Yes.
Yeah,
Then the lookup, the table array is where all your data is. So you highlight from, it's called what? You highlight from B4 to the last cell. Yes, that's the table array. That is the whole table, having all the contents that you need, then comma. Then now instead of the column index, here we are having the row index. You can scroll to the right so that you can see the row headers. Okay, then in the row headers, we're interested in company name, beginning with beginning with the row lookup where your lookup value is. You start counting. So customer ID is row 1, company name row 2, contact name row 3, contact title row 5. Sorry, row 4. So we are interested in company name, so that will be row index number 2. Then comma, then the range lookup is optional. You can type in 0 or 1, so, or false. So we will need an exact match, false. So close. Awesome. So do the same for contact name. How will you get contact name using HLOOKUP? So when you're looking for something, you can either you look for it column-wise based on how you've arranged your table, or row-wise. Okay. Then if it is row-wise, you have if your headers are in the row, are put in rows, you have the VLOOKUP. Headers are put in one column, you have the HLOOKUP. So you're using the ID on G9. Remember, I've said you can even type that ID. It's up to you. But for us, for dynamic, if you come later on and we're no longer interested at ID number 54, 45, now the data validation will help us to just dynamically change it. The table array, the table array. Yes, the contact name, index number. Comma. Then, yes, that is it. Awesome. Okay. So one thing that you have to be keen on is go to the VLOOKUP sheet. So what happens in the VLOOKUP, we look the VLOOKUP function works from left to right. That is, it works this way, left to right. Then the HLOOKUP, go to the HLOOKUPs group sheet. Now for the HLOOKUP, it works from top to bottom. To mean the lookup value must be on the top row. Now HLOOKUP, the lookup value must be on the leftmost column. But come to VLOOKUP. Yes, must be on the leftmost column. But what happens when you have the contact title and you're looking for the customer ID? You have the contact title or you have the contact name, but you don't have the contact ID. Both the HLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP will not suffice for the task. Okay? If that happens, we have what we call the index and match. Go to the index and match sheet. Okay? So the index and match are two functions put together. The index and match are two functions put together. They work, their agenda are different, but once you bring them together, they do wonders. Now, they have been recently replaced. This is Excel 2021 by what we call the HLOOKUP. Because Unix does not have the latest, the version that would allow us to show the HLOOKUP, I'll still teach you on index and match. Then for the person who has Excel 2021 or Excel 365, Microsoft 365, we can also show you how to use the HLOOKUP. Now, on this sheet here, on this one, come to that cell. This is J something, J11 or something.
J11.
Yes, J11. So the index gives you the content. The index function gives you the content, while the match gives you the position. That is the basic. Let's see how this happens. Type in is equals to index open bracket, delete that so that everyone can see. Yes, returns a value or reference of the cell at the intersection of a particular row and column in a given range. Okay. Open bracket. So highlight from C5 to C14. Then the row number, that is the column. Remember where the column and row intersect, it gives you that, comma. Five. Just a moment, what did you highlight? You highlighted C5 to C14. C5 to C14, not G14.
Oh, C. Oh,
Yes, awesome. Then the row number 5. Then, as I told you, column number, if you see something in bracket, most of the time it is optional. So close. Then enter. So based on the array, this is the array. Array simply is also the range of cells. Okay, so we've said this array, then we put in row number 5. So beginning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get Patel. Okay, as I said, the index function gives you the content based on an array and the row number that you provided or the column number that you provided. Then the match function gives you the position. So type in is equals to where you are, that is G12, is equals to
5.
yes, match for M8. Yes, returns the relative position of an item in an array. The relative position of an item in an array. So I want you to click on where you have Patel. You want to know the position of Patel. Yes, awesome. Comma. Then the lookup array, that is C5 to C14. On my end, it is raining, so if you don't hear me, do inform me so that I turn on my data. Then comma. Then the match type is either 0, 1 or -1. So 0 for exact match. Then close. Yes. So that is just what problem is there based on the value that we've been given. What is the problem there? It's giving us a date. Someone? What is the issue? Anyone who may know the issue? We talked about it last week. Issue? Okay. All right. This is a formatting issue. This is a formatting issue. Yes, the data type. Awesome. Thank you, Williamson. So go to home. Home. And a number, change it to number. So as her laptop is loading, I want you to know that Excel counts from January 1st, 1900. January 1st, 1900. When you meet a new workbook and it has these figures 45,000 etc. That is, those are the days from January 1st, 9500. You can reduce the decimal places. 1900, sorry. Here, reduce the decimal places to 0. Yes, then click OK. Have you clicked OK? Yes. So based on this array, Patel is the position of what Patel is position 5. Okay, that's the thing. All right. Now we will look at how we are able to use the index and match together to get answers. Okay. So we have the application. Here is the application. Something I need you to know is whenever you meet a new data set, just try to understand what is happening. For example, here we have the manager, we have the division, we have the application, the revenue, and profit. Okay, that is what we have. So we want to know, now since we have the application, we are interested in the division, which is on the left side, and we're also interested in the revenue, and we are interested in the profits, and you're also interested in the manager. So vertical lookup cannot help us. Vertical lookup can only help us with the revenue and with the profit. But what is on the left side of our interests can help, can only be done using the index and match function. So let's go to K5 and type in the function. Okay, is equals to array, index, yes. What we are interested in as it stands is the division. So you highlight the division. Highlight the division that is from either D4 to D4 to D14 or D5 to D14. Then comma, then match. Type in the function. The lookup value we say it is what we have, which is on K5. Is it K5? Yes. No, not K5, K4, where we have ASYWW, comma, then lookup array, we have this is the column that contains the lookup value. So this is from E6 to E14. E6 to E14, the column that contains the lookup value. E6 sorry, E5. E5. It's supposed to be E5. E5 to E14. So before you move on, wherever your array begins, like every time you do any formula, if it's VLOOKUP, if it's any other lookup function, wherever one array begins, you make sure that the other one begins there. Here we started at E5. Sorry, we started at D5. So make sure you also start at E5. Okay, so that they are they are balanced. I think that's the best one. Comma. Then 0. Click no. Okay. Okay. So you see, when you do something I want you to be keen on, if you have two brackets on the left, make sure you have two brackets on the right. Then another good thing with Excel, it shows you how, if you open a bracket, the first bracket, if it's black, make sure the last bracket is black. It will give you that error indication and ask you to correct it. And I wanted it to be a point that you just know. You can either count the brackets or you use just the colors. The last bracket in our case here is red. So make sure make sure you add another bracket so that your last bracket is also color black.
I have another bracket.
Bracket. Yes. So whatever you open, you close.
Bracket.
Enter. So that's it. ASW, the division name is productivity. Here. Let's do for manager. Manager, let's go to manager. Type in is equals to open bracket. Sorry, index. Then array, this is the entire column or row that contains the value that you plan to return. Okay, so what do we plan to return? We will plan to return the name of the manager. So highlight the ranges that have names of the manager. All managers. Yes. Then comma. Then match. Then your lookup value, what you have, it's on K5, K4. The ASY, WW. Then comma. The lookup array. This is where ASW, where is it coming from? The range that contains all applications or all that you have. That is E5 to D14. Then after that, comma, we want an exact match, 0 or false. then close bracket. Yeah, that is true. Okay. That is well. Any question?